Hey, what's up? It's Privacy J here. So, it's time for another season 2 of the Sunday's live stream. So, it's been a minute. So, the live stream, um, hold on a second. The live stream we talk about the, one second. The last stream we talked about the Juneteenth and especially NBA Knicks and NBA Knicks won and the other stuff. So, I just want to know the go. I just want to know we before we go over to today's topics. So it's gonna be rainy today. So most cloudy and not as hot but humid. A thunderstorm in spots late this afternoon. Storms can be bringing floody downpours and localized damaging wind gusts. High temperature is 86 degrees. Tonight mostly cloudy and humid with a couple of showers and a heavy thunderstorm. Persistent torrential downpours can lead to significant flush flooding, low 71 degrees and 79 as well. 79 degrees. Relief from the heat continues with flush flooding from the rain and thunderstorms Sunday night and Monday. And not as hot a, a PM, 8 p.m. thunderstorm. As you can see, all this and hours for the thunderstorms and cloudy, and it's gonna be rain and showers and a heavier thunderstorm. A couple of showers with flush flooding warning. Increased amounts of sun, a T storm around in the PM. Some rain in the thunderstorm. That's on Friday, Thursday, Wednesday. Some rain in the thunderstorm. Eats same Saturday. Most cloudy, a little rain, plenty of sunshine, and partly sunny, a few showers. And 14 hours, 59 minutes, winning cheapest air quality. The air quality is generally acceptable for most individuals. However, since sensitive groups may experience minor to moderate symptoms from long-term exposure. Allergy outlook, tree pollen, ragweed pollen, mold, grass pollen, and dust and dander. Low and high, moderate, high, and extreme. And it's don't forget fair. All right, let's go to today's topics. So it was the 4th of July yesterday. So Brooklyn Bridge catches the fire during 4th of July fireworks display. It was happened. Flames erupted on the Brooklyn Bridge as fireworks were being shot. So not to mention from it during Macy's July 4th display over the East River. The video shows a a plume of smoke emerging from a flaming section of the bridge as fireworks soar and burst around it Saturday night. Two other sections also appeared to burn as the pyro- pyrotechnics were being shot from the span. At first, I thought it was suspended to happen, but then I was scared it would exploded. I thought the bridge was made of wood, so I was scared, said Nearing Koala, 24 from France. Hold on. What did I say? Who was watching the display from the Brooklyn waterfront? There were four at the same time. Some extra fireworks exploded due to the fire. A fire scene on the Brooklyn Bridge on yesterday on Saturday, July 4th. A picture of the firework, Brooklyn Bridge, on Saturday, yesterday. So it was happening. A fire scene on the Brooklyn Bridge last night. Fireworks scene going off by the Brooklyn Bridge. Oh, boom, happened. It started as a small fire and got bigger. There was too much black smoke, added Mohammed 731 of Egypt. All the fires burned out after a minute, a Post reporter observed. A source with knowledge of the fire said that minor blazes broke out on its platforms installed to launch the fireworks, not on the bridge itself. And that The 143-year-old bridge remains safe and structurally sound. The fire was extinguished with two engines, according to the FDNY. So yeah, and move along to today's next topic. Weather woes impact July 4th celebrations as National Mall briefly evacuated. What to know about July 4th celebrations in America 250? Historic celebrations took place across the United States the 4th of July as Americans marked 250 years of independence. However, severe weather, including heat and storms, put a damper on events in several regions. The National Mall in Washington, D.C., which hosted the White House Freedom 250 4th of July celebrations, which was evacuated Saturday night for several hours due to thunderstorms. Thousands of attendees were forced to evacuate to nearby federal buildings and museums. However, it later reopened, and I don't want to talk about mention the president. His remarks after 11 p.m. EET ahead of a fireworks show billed as the largest in history. Philadelphia, the One Philly Unity Concert for America was also halted due to the severe weather, and Saturday morning DC's Independence Day parade was canceled due to the heat wave. In pictures, huge fireworks displays marks the end of the July 4th celebrations in DC. Fireworks burst into the air from bridges on the Potomac River during Salute to America 254th of July celebrations in Washington, D.C. A fireworks display is seen during the Salute to America Independence Day celebration on the National Mall in Washington, D.C. The fireworks over Washington, D.C. are seen from behind the Marine Corps Memorial in Arlington, Virginia. 51 humans treated for the heat during July 4th events on National Mall. At least 51 humans were treated for heat-related illness during the Salute to America events on the National Mall in Washington, D.C. on Saturday, according to federal officials. The National Special Security Event Joint Information Center reported that a total of 86 humans were treated for various ailments at the National Mall, 34 of which were transported to area hospitals. Of those 34, a dozen were transported for heat-related issues, officials disclosed. Several small blazes break out on Brooklyn Bridge during New York City fireworks show. During the Macy's 4th of July fireworks show in New York City Saturday night, multiple fires broke out on the Brooklyn Bridge. Witnesses spotted about 4 small fires burning on the bridge's walkway near spots where fireworks were being set off. The bridge was closed to traffic at the time. Fire crews responded and put out the blaze, the CBS New York reported. There were no reports of injuries. Fires like those are not unexpected, and that is the way we have the standoff distance during a fireworks show. A New York City Fire Department spokesperson told the CBS News in an email when asked if there's fires have been sparked by fireworks. We don't mention about the politics. Skip that. Several cabinet members in attendance for freedom. Several members, don't mention the person's name. Cabinet were at the National Mall in Washington, D.C. ahead of the president's address. On America's 250th birthday, delayed several hours due to severe weather. They included Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, Secretary of State Marco Rubio, Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick, and Secretary of Homeland Security Mark Wayne Mullen. Also in attendance were House Speaker Mike Johnson and White House Communications Director Stephen Chung. Members of the National Guard allow visitors to re-enter the National Mall after the severe weather conditions during Salute to America 250 4th of July celebrations in Washington, D.C. A view of the stage Before he remarks during the Salute to America Independence Day celebration of the National Mall in Washington, D.C. Freedom 250 organizers say National Mall, blah, blah, blah. Skip. Philadelphia July 4th concert halted due to severe weather. Um, the One Philly Unity Concert for America on the Benjamin Franklin Parkway in Philadelphia has been halted due to severe weather, city officials announced. The show is stopped until further notice due to impending severe storm, officials said in X post. Please safely make your way to the exit and seek shelter. The concert lineup includes the likes of Christina Aguilera, Seal, Will Smith, Jill Scott, and The Roots. Philadelphia played the host to a World Cup round of 32 match at Lincoln Financial Fields earlier in the evening between Paraguay and France that was not impacted by the weather. France defeated Paraguay 1-0. I don't do mention politics, so video shows chaos on Washington Monument grounds amid weather evacuations. Crowd at the Washington Monument grounds appeared confused as authorities told July 4th revealers to leave the premises due to the severe weather. Someone said mic check on the stage. According to CBS Evening News anchor Tony Dukupil, who is co-hosting the Great American Block Party 250 at CBS Primetime Special. As a U.S. Park police officer told the humans, "Go to the exit," that caused some to rush back on the bleachers after hearing the person on the speakers. Dukupil and Entertainment Tonight co-host Michelle Turner also evacuated. Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna skip this because I don't want to read too long. So yeah. Anyway, let's move along to updates about the iPhone 18 or the iPhone 18 Pro. So iPhone 18 Pro could use Qualcomm modem in the US and C2 elsewhere. Stolen data from Apple manufacturing partner Tata Electronics appears to reveal that the iPhone 18 Pro will use different modem chips depending on the market it is sold in, with US models retaining Qualcomm hardware while international models will feature Apple's in-house C2 modem. The finding emerged from a wide-ranging cyber attack on Tata, which alongside Foxconn assembles the iPhone. More than 630 gigabytes of confidential data was stolen by a ransomware group of World Leaks and has been circulating online. The material was obtained illegally, and Mac Rumors has not seen the stolen files directly. Apple Insider conducted an analysis of the stolen files and said it could confirm the authenticity of several key documents. Among the information that has attracted particular is a bill of materials apparently related to the US variant of the iPhone 18 Pro, which lists multiple Qualcomm components rather than Apple C2 modem. C2 modem. Hold on. C2 modem, codename Ganymede. The Qualcomm parts reference include the SDX80M, XDR875, QDM8771, QDM8720, PMK75, PMX75, and QET7100A. Components associated with millimeter wave 5G support. The international iPhone 18 Pro models, by contrast, are said to use the C2, which would succeed the C1 and C1X modems currently found in the iPhone Air and iPhone 17e and the M5 iPad Pro. The implication, that Apple Insider notes, is that the C2 still lacks millimeter wave capability, and that Apple is once again relying on Qualcomm to fill that gap for American carriers. The millimeter wave is the ultra high frequency band of the 5G offered primarily by Verizon, delivering very fast download speeds over short distances. Apple's C1 and C1X modems are widely regarded as more power efficient than their Qualcomm counterparts, meaning US iPhone 18 Pro buyers may see somewhat worse battery life than those purchasing the same device elsewhere. Daring Fireball's John Gruber offered analysis of the practical trade-offs involved, while 5G outpaced LTE in his test. Gruber argued the difference has no meaningful impact on how the phone actually feels to use. Having a phone that can pull 320 milli Mbps down over cellular is like having a car that can go 320 milli miles per hour, an interesting technical feat, but of no practical value to me whatsoever. I never feel like I'm waiting for anything to load because I'm on LTE. LTE is fast enough, and regular 5G is more than fast enough. 5G millimeter wave is simply a waste of battery life as far as I'm concerned. On why Apple would not simply deploy the C2 everywhere rather than retaining Qualcomm for the US market. Gruber pointed the finger squarely at the career economics. Faster than you practically need download speeds are a career bragging point. Longer battery life and plenty fast enough download speeds are an Apple bragging point. Verizon and to a lesser extent AT&T spent a fortune building out millimeter wave networks. They don't want to sell flagship phones that don't support them. Apple's flagship iPhones have supported those networks since 2020. If Zivkovic's analysis of this stolen data from Tata is correct, and Apple is going to use Qualcomm's modems only in iPhone 18 Pro models sold in the US, I think the reason why is Verizon and AT&T bragging points, not any practical user benefit. And the result may be that US iPhone 18 Pro models get somewhat worse battery life than those in the rest of the world. The C2 modem has been a rumored feature of the iPhone 18 Pro for years as part of Apple's broader effort to reduce its reliance on Qualcomm, a split deployment, with the C2 handling most of the world while Qualcomm covers of the US. The world represent a significant step in that direction, even if it falls short of a complete transition. The iPhone 18 Pro and iPhone 18 Pro Max are expected to launch in the fall alongside the first foldable iPhone. Okay, so let's see. Hold on. So, move along to the next topic. Apple to release these 16 new products later this year. The Apple's annual WWDC Developers Conference is in the rearview mirror, but there is still a lot to look forward to in the second half of the year. Now that the more intelligent and personal version of Siri has finally arrived in beta, a full 2 years after Apple first previewed at the WWDC 2024 2 years ago, we should begin to see some new devices. That were reportedly postponed until the new Siri was ready. Beyond the usual annual updates to iPhones and Apple Watches in September, Apple's all-new smart home hub is expected to debut later this year. We are also expecting a foldable iPhone Ultra and a long-awaited updates to the Apple TV, HomePod, and HomePod Mini, and a redesigned MacBook Ultra with an OLED display is expected by early 2027. July update, which is this month. Bloomberg's Mark Gurman this week reported that the Apple has planned to update the 14-inch MacBook Pro base model with an M6 chip later this year. And that means the company is now rumored to have at least 16 new products in the pipeline for the rest of 2026. Our list of rumor new products has been updated accordingly. Here's what to expect from Apple later this year. According to rumors, iPhones. The iPhone 18 Pro with A20 Pro chip, a smaller dynamic island, a simplified camera control button, a dark cherry color option, variable aperture for at least one rear camera, Apple's C2 modem with support for 5G web browsing via satellite, and more. The iPhone 18 Pro Max, the same features rumored for the iPhone 18 Pro, but the Pro Max model may or may not be slightly thicker. The iPhone Ultra, a foldable iPhone Ultra with a 7.7-inch inner display and 5.3-inch outer display, 2 rear cameras, 1 front camera, a Touch ID power button instead of Face ID, and more. The iOS 27 is expected to be tailored for the foldable iPhone, allowing for side-by-side apps and other iPad-like multitasking functionality. The Apple Watches. The Apple Watch Series 12, a faster S11 chip or newer plus design changes such as Touch ID and or more health sensors disputed. Apple Watch Ultra 4, a faster S11 chip or newer plus design changes as a Touch ID and or more health sensors disputed. There may also be additional satellite features for this Apple Watch Ultra 3 and newer, such as Apple Maps via satellite and the ability to send and receive photos with messages via satellite. iPads. iPad 12, A16 chip, A18 chip, A16 chip or A18 chip to A. Let me start over. The iPad 12, A16 chip to A18 chip or A19 chip with the Apple Intelligence support. The iPad Mini, A17 Pro chip to A19 Pro or A20 Pro chip. An OLED display, a vibration-based speaker system, and a water-resistant design. Mac Studio, M4 Max, and M3 Ultra chips to M5 Max and M5 Ultra chips. The Mac Mini with M4 and M4 Pro chips to M5 and M5 Pro chips. The iMac M4 chip to M5 chip plus new color options. The MacBook Pro, a new 14-inch MacBook Pro base model with an M6 chip. The MacBook Ultra, a major MacBook Pro redesign in late 2026 or 2027 with M5 Pro and M5 Max chip, not the M6 Pro or M6 Max, because we will be skipping it. An OLED display, a touchscreen, a dynamic island, and a thinner design on this laptop, which will reportedly be named MacBook Ultra. The macOS 27 is expected to offer a touch-friendly interface. Home. Apple TV and A17 Pro chip with support for the more personalized Siri and Apple's N1 chip with Wi-Fi 7 support. A built-in FaceTime camera has been rumored for a future Apple TV, but it is unclear if that will arrive with the next model. The HomePod Mini, S9 chip or newer with support for the more personalized Siri. Apple's N1 chip with Wi-Fi 7 support, improved sound quality, a second generation ultra wideband chip, and potentially new color options like red. And HomePod, a new full-size HomePod that supports the revamped Siri for HomePod 3. Home Hub, an all-new smart home hub featuring the more personalized version of Siri, a 6-inch to 7-inch square display, an A18 chip for Apple Intelligence, FaceTime, and more. Place it on a table or mount it on a wall. Okay, next topic. Apple to launch new iPad Pro in spring 2027. Apple is planning to release new 11-inch and 13-inch iPad Pro models in spring 2027, reports to Bloomberg. No major design changes are expected, with Apple focuses on internal upgrades. The iPad Pro models could use either M6 or M7 chips. Apple will introduce the M6 as soon as this year in an update for 14-inch MacBook Pro model, but it is aiming to release the M7 chip in the first half of 2027. Bloomberg does not specify which chip Apple would put in the iPad Pro, but if the M7 chip is ready by spring 2027, the new iPads could have the upgraded chip. If it's not ready, they'll use the M6. Both chips will be built on Apple's new 2-nanometer process, but the M7 has AI optimizations that the M6 doesn't have. Apple has also tested a vapor chamber cooling system that could improve performance. Little else is known about the new iPad Pro models, but if they come out in spring 2027, Apple could introduce them alongside the iPhone 18e, iPhone 18, and iPhone Air 2 devices that are also slated for spring 2027. Next topic. M6 MacBook Pro coming in late 2026. Redesigned M7 model launched in first half 2027 next year. Apple plans to release an update 14-inch MacBook Pro with M6 chip in late 2026, and then follow it with a revamped M7 model in the first half of 2027, reports to Bloomberg. Apple apparently finished work on a 14-inch MacBook Pro with the M6 chip months ago, and the device is expected to launch before the end of the year. Apple's M6 chip cycle will be shorter than prior chip cycles because it is not planning for M6 Pro and M6 Max chips. Apple is aiming to have a quick transition between M6 and M7 because its M7 chips have optimizations for AI workloads. The M7 MacBook Pro is coming in next year in 2027. Will have a new design that's in line with the design that Apple plans to use for its rumored high-end OLED touchscreen MacBook Pro models. Prior rumors have suggested that high-end OLED MacBook Pro models could get a slimmed down design. It's still unclear what the OLED MacBook Pro models will come out, but Bloomberg believes a launch is slated for the end of 2026 or 2027. Apple's release timelines are uncertain because of the ongoing memory chip shortages and increased costs that it's dealing with. Apple has a long list of products that could come in the first half of 2027, including new iPad Pro models, the iPhone Air 2 with the second camera, the iPhone 18, and the iPhone 18e. Okay. So anyways, that'll be it for today's Sunday's live stream on season 2. And stay tuned for the next Sunday's live stream, what's going on before my birthday. So I'll keep you guys updated for sure. And then I know it's the minute. I know it's the videos is like 30 minutes long, so don't worry about that. So keep in mind. So yeah. So, and coming up this week, there will be a new content along the way. And don't forget, my birthday is in like let's see, 2 weeks away. So wish me guys a happy birthday as well. So yeah, because I'm about to return 26. So like and comment, subscribe, but let me know about it. So we're gonna subscribe to my 3 channels: Privacy J Productions 1, 2, and 3, and on my content, all of my social media as well. Let you know all about it. Facebook, my name is Jaden Garcia. Instagram, JTech727. Snapchat is Coach0727. Follow me on X, Privacy J NYC1, and follow me on TikTok is Privacy J Official. Same name on Instagram. So thanks for watching and peace out.